There we go. All right. Good morning. I'm here. Looks like I've got just one guy in here. Two watching. Cool. Guys, smash the like button for me right away. So that way I got some likes on this. That'll help me get some more people in. Not a whole lot going on this morning. I got a new job or a new job site that started last week. We're chasing a bunch of ground guys. And let me see if I got any pictures from the job site. Download these real quick. So, if you guys got any quick questions, I know Tran there, you have a question that you sent me through Messenger on my Facebook page. Let's see if I pull that up. Come on. Nope. All right. Okay. The whole thing about excavators having a button to make them go faster. There are actually a couple of different buttons that'll change how the machine actually operates. There's a mode switch which changes the mode in which the machine operates. So it has a high output mode, it has um, a standard mode, and then there's an eco mode. Or, no, there's a lifting mode and an eco mode. There is also a heavy lift button, which is usually now it used to be a trigger on one of the grips, but now it's a switch that they actually put on the panel, and so you flip the switch and now you got extra lifting. The hydraulics prioritize the lifting boom over the other hydraulics. It gives you a little more power for picking up heavy objects. And there is also a button for track speed, so it's like changing gears in your car. It's a 2-speed. So the standard turtle mode, your track speed is around 1 mile an hour. When you put it in rabbit mode, it varies from machine to machine, but it gives you like an extra 2 miles an hour. So 3 miles an hour is how fast the machine will track. So that's the answer. It's simple, not a whole lot of big stuff going on there, but that's how it is. Simple and easy. So I thought today maybe I could show you how I edit videos, or it's a pain in the butt. You get an early look at some stuff. And let me see here. I did not have all this stuff set up prior. No. So the editing software that I use is DaVinci Resolve. I'm using the freeware version. Have not paid for it yet, which basically just unlocks a whole lot of more useful options in the software. So if you're interested in seeing that, I'll show you. Okay, you have one more curious question. What happens if you were too rough with the joysticks on the excavator? Nothing. Depends on what you're doing. I mean, the machines are designed, especially today with the computerized controls and stuff, you can just grab the control, sling it all the way to one side. The machine has a certain amount of hydraulic that takes to build up, and the machine will start moving. It's not like a steering wheel in your car where you jerk the wheel and you violently go left or right. It's like gently turning the wheel. They're not. The small machines are faster and more violent than the large machines. The bigger the machine, the more pressure and the more time it takes to accelerate, get up to its swing speed, and begin moving around. That doesn't mean you can't tear the machine up by slinging the controls around in certain conditions. But yeah, it can be done. You can damage a machine pretty good if you go nuts with the controls. Let's see what we got today in the feed. But, I mean, even for me, just swinging the controls, most of the time when I'm digging, I'm using full authority on the controls. The swing, when I get started, will go to full. And so, along with the way the machines operate, is the more controls that you use, the more you have to distribute that hydraulic pressure. And so what happens is you go to full swing, but you're also pulling up on the boom or curling the bucket. So you're doing 3 operations. You can do 4 operations at one time, maximum, because that's how the controls are. Well, I guess if you throw in tracking, that would throw in 6, because each track I would consider to be one control. So you're now sharing the hydraulic pressure to all those operations. Now, the majority of the time when I'm digging, I'm using 3. So I'm doing a boom up, a stick in, or a stick out, or a curl, and a swing. Usually, the way it'll usually work is, because I know the hydraulic system's going to be slow, as I start pulling up, as soon as I clear, so the way we dig, we have a slope with a 4-foot vertical in the bottom. And as I pull up, I'll start to swing as I'm coming up. That slows down the upward motion to counter being able to hit the wall. A couple of things you can do is you can either pull the bucket in closer, which will increase the speed, because you're not... It all comes down to physics. So the further out the boom and bucket are, the longer it takes to lift it, because it's a heavier item. When you bring it in closer to you, it magically becomes lighter. The boom has more force, and it comes up faster and allows you to move and swing. But once that happens, that's what it is. Oh my God, where am I? Oh yeah. Transition over here. So we're on to my video editing here. Let me see. So I've got to pick and choose what I want to do. Let me open over here. I want to show you my hard drive, so I'll leave that over on my other monitor. So I'm looking for the same files. Why am I? No, I'm not supposed to be on that one. Yeah, because oops, I gotta remember what day this was on. I think I have the right days. Does not look like I have the right days. Is that it? No, green shirt, orange shirt. Okay, green shirt. Sometimes sometimes I do this to myself and I don't have things labeled right, and then I gotta go searching for them to find them. All right, so this is let's see here. Get this where you guys can see it. Ah, unloading the truck. So we got loader hand coming in to grab a load off of a delivery truck. The problem with the forks on these loaders, these big loaders, is the forks are like super thick, and the boards that they use to hold these pipes are like 2 inch, and the forks are like 6 inch. So what happens is once, and the forks are tapered, so once they stab in and they reach a thickness that is thicker than the boards that are holding the load on the truck, you get this. It pushes the bundle off the side of the truck, and you wind up with pipe on the other side. So we come in with the excavator, put our bucket up against it to keep from pushing the pile over. That way it goes onto the forks of the loader, and then we unload it. And it's a safety thing. So it does two things. I'm on this side looking to make sure no one's behind the pile of pipe getting picked off the truck, because sometimes the truck driver will be back here rolling up his straps and not paying attention. And it has happened on a job where a truck driver was rolling up straps or something like that on the back side of the truck, and the forklift came in, didn't see the guy on the other side, and pushed a pile of rebar, which is extremely heavy, on top of the guy. The driver wound up dying from the injuries that he had. So a lot of depressing stuff in construction. I know we have a lot of fun, we do a lot of fun things. Okay, okay, talking to the truck driver. Yeah, this was an incident that we had. I'm not going to talk about that. But I don't know, you guys. Now, see, I have an issue today. Is that I am running. I don't have enough monitors to keep up with you, with the live stream, and to keep up with the chat. But since no one's chatting, no big deal. Still only got 2 people watching. So if you guys got anything you want to talk about, spit it out. If you want to watch me edit videos, we can watch that. It's not very exciting stuff. I was trying to tell you about trenching. I'm trying to find I think I'll go ahead and find a video that has a little more of that in it. Just so I can talk about what let me see. I think I got one here. Okay, so I'm standing around. Oh, we got the guys rocking the ditch. So what we're putting in on this project was twin pressure mains. So I'm just talking about where we got started and where I'm at versus, how much time it takes to dig. Whoops. So I was just saying, up where those guys are at, the power pole that's right there, that's where I had started digging, I believe. And I don't know what time it is compared to this video. I've got others. Let's see what we got. Doing kind of a walkthrough, looking for my center line. Oh, that's right. So a bird had laid eggs in this green area here, and they had it all fenced off, preventing us from going through this area. So now that the bird had eggs had hatched and the little chicks had flown off or gone away, they then took the fence down and we could continue our work. But luckily it all happened before I actually got there. And this barbed wire fence, that's basically the center line of my trench. So we have to come back and take it all down. Since the fencing company that put up all the orange snow fence did not take that down, we have to take it down. So you can see over here the aggregate or base, or it's not base rock. This is a class 1, so it's just 3/4 inch crush rock that goes in for the bedding and surrounding the pipe. So the reason we saw a mechanic is I had damaged my track. This was after the fact. So this is the actual repair portion of it. Let me see. So you can see here, those are the bolts. There's the track. And I think I did talk to you guys about how these pads are actually changeable. And this is an example of what they look like. So that's just the chain itself. And the pad is sitting up here, and we'll just slide the pad into place. And then it's 4 bolts that hold that on. And that's it. So you can actually take all the pads off and just have a chain on the machine or on the track. My laborer didn't know that that was how these things were built, but that's how they work. Oh. What else do we have here? Got any other questions there, bud? We're still all alone. Maybe it's too early in the morning for everybody. Maybe I should start this a little later. But I've been awake for a few hours already, so I get bored and I have to do something. Alright, oh, I need to get back to finding that files. Oh, intro. So I've got, usually what I do is I've got to go through these videos, find out, see what am I even doing in this video. Okay, on an excavator. So this is my in-cab camera, mostly boring. This is just the camera I talk to. And I have found out that my, I've got a couple different cameras that I'm using. So I've got the GoPro 8s, Hero Blacks or whatever. Those are the ones I use. But then I got which is this guy right here. And then I've got the Insta360 camera, which is new. I got mounts. So you may see these around this video. You don't see one, but the coolest one I got. So I got 2 GoPros, a couple of mounts. Where is my other one? Where is it? What do we do with it? Don't tell me I left it at work. I can do that sometimes. Maybe it's in my other bag. Well, that's a bummer. No? Oh, there it is. It was hiding under all my stuff. This one here is really cool. So, the Insta360, it's not a commercial for Insta360, but I was put onto these cameras from a guy that I watch, another YouTube channel I watch, Trent Palmer, and he's in aviation. I love flying. But these cameras are really cool. The batteries last way longer than the GoPros do. It's got a little flip-up camera on it. But the cool thing is the detachable and attachable mount is really cool. And then you can charge this. So I can actually put this on the machine, put a battery, plug a portable battery into it, and actually plug into it. and charge it while it's recording. That's how I can get super long cuts on these. And this one will make longer file sizes than the GoPros. The GoPros only make a 4 gig file, and it breaks it up a lot. But this mount here, this is a magnetic mount. I don't know. We can get you over here, show you this. But on the side of my computer, bam, right on there. So that's how I'm starting to get some new shots. It gives me areas I can put a camera that I couldn't put a camera before. So I thought that was really cool. They had a single magnet, a double magnet, and a triple magnet. I tell you right now, the double magnet is way more than I needed, but I wanted to be sure because I actually stick this out on the boom and on the stick of the machine, which is where it has the most violence. The GoPro, I had some issues with the shaking, actually causing the video not to capture and do weird things. And I actually lost a lot of footage that way. But, you know, you got to learn. You got to try new things and stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, so this video here is all from coming out of the corner from the last... See, and I'm behind on videos. I've been doing the live ones because I've been a little lazy and haven't been putting together anything interesting yet. So we just drag down here. We figure out what we want, where we want it. So we do everything in fast motion. And the reason I'm going to skip most of this is because I have a ton of these people walking around all wearing logos, which I'm supposed to be blurring out. So I want to get to a point where there's far less people. And let me see. I want to be at a point where I start a fresh dig. And so like this, where I'm starting a fresh set to dig. I like to start there. That way it's... delete. So I also have my intro. We'll throw the intro at the very beginning. Now, one of the things I found out that's you want to do with the videos is you want to throw a hook in at the very beginning. So while I'm editing the video, I want to find something either funny or something that's relevant to the body of the video to kind of hook in the viewer in the first like 15 to 30 seconds. That seems to be the most important part of these videos. And then it rolls into the intro, and then it rolls into the body of the video. And I hate not being able to have my chat roll going. Okay, how heavy are those trackpads? That I can actually... Let me go back to my video stuff. So that is one of the... because this is early on, this is before I break the track. That video of us finding and repairing that trackpad will be rolled all into one, so it's like a 2-day process. You can dig without those trackpads on. I just need, let me see if I can find the day that it happened. No, that's the same one. So previous day. Why did that? Okay. No. Why is that the same thing? I must have saved the file twice. I know this is boring, watching me look for stuff, but I can't show you everything that's on my computer. Let me see. Okay, so this is video from when the mechanic from Tri-West came out to turn the power up on the machine. So all the videos that you've seen up till now are all going to be in the unrepaired, I guess, unsupported, where the machine is running at a lower power than it should be. After this video, for this one, when this video comes out, you'll see that they've upped the power, and then I'll kind of do I'll do one set before it was repaired and then one after. It's not really a repair. I guess it would just be they went into the computer and made the flow of the hydraulics correct. So the problem was the hydraulics were running at a lower hydraulic, not pressure, but rate. There's a certain flow rate for each set of controls, and that's what this guy's doing. He's got his computer hooked up to it. He's just checking all the flow rates. He's got to get the right temperature, a whole bunch of garbage that goes through it. Okay, there's the track that's wonky. So what causes this is when you're digging or whatever, the boom is offset like a couple of inches. So, and you dig side to side, doing your slopes and whatnot, and just pulling the bucket will hit your tracks. And I must have hit the track and I didn't notice, or I did notice and I just ignored it because it happens once in a while. But if you hit it hard enough, you break your bolts or you bend the track. There's a lot of different things that you can do. The damage, this is probably the best scenario. You just snapped a couple of bolts, the pad comes off. Not the end of the world. So here I set the camera up in the cab facing the track while we work on it. Andy, my boss, he's getting mad at me. Mark doesn't seem to care. He's just, let's get this pad off so we don't damage it more. So we bring out the big... Oh, okay. I got somebody jumped in my Discord. What's up, Ducky? I'm live streaming right now. Perfect. Cool. So if you guys don't know, I have a Discord channel for the Lever Monkey, and along with my flying channel. Not a whole lot of people go into it anymore. I used to have a group of flying people they flew military aircraft with and did a bunch of stuff that way. But let's see, bring out the big wrench, put the big wrench on it with a socket. You can hear that bolt snapping, breaking free. I'm grabbing my PPE, my personal protective equipment. Throw some gloves on so I don't get my hand pinched or anything. Gotta protect your phalanges. These are phalanges. So we got this, get it all loosened up. I'll show you the next one because there's a video of I've got video of me actually carrying the thing off somewhere. No, maybe not. I thought I did. Huh. No. that guy. I must have missed it somewhere. Oh, still on there. There we go. Let the old man do this. There we go. Yanked it off. It's probably about 80 pounds. If I bend over with it, it'll pull me over. But that's, I take it over, I put it in the back of my truck for the day just to know where it's at and we don't lose it. I don't like throwing things off to the side of the trench because then you got to go back and find them and bring them back. So I threw it in the back of my truck till the mechanic showed up. Then I brought it back to the machine and it just made it easier to move around. But they're heavy. Everything on heavy equipment's heavy. So come back to the video editing. Anybody else got questions, comments? As I didn't really have a lot planned for today, this morning, unless you guys want me to go searching for some heavy equipment videos, accidents. I think the editing thing will be too boring for you guys. Get through commercials, loading trucks. Here's a good video. I think I actually had this one saved. So here we got a 95 ton machine. This is a big bad boy, loading up a big old dump truck. Holds probably 40 yards of material maybe in one of these. These are not the super giant ones, but these are pretty dang big. These guys are doing it a little differently than I think I would do it, but this is how they're doing it. This is more of a mining technique. You dig out of the wall and pull the material to you. You can also see that the excavator has built himself a pad to sit up on. If we swing back over to the other guy, see if they actually do that. Want to see the other excavator. So I wanted to point out that you can see that they build up a base that they sit on that raises the excavator higher, and it makes it so the excavator doesn't have to pick up and lift as high to get into the truck. It makes it a lot easier on the operator. We've got a difference between machines. This is obviously the newer machine. We got a 395 with a headache rack on it, and it also has a shield over the front, so that prevents any debris from hitting the front windshield and busting the window and actually landing in your lap. And I've had that happen. I've run a hydraulic hammer on an excavator, and had a rock shatter and send a piece of rock through the window and hit me in the leg. It hurt. It was about the size of a dinner plate, the piece of rock that had hit me. But this is our life. This is what we do. It's not exciting. It's repetitive. That's why a lot of us have problems with our hands, shoulders, and backs, because we just do the same thing over and over again. So more of the same, I think, here. Little kids. Best heavy equipment excavators. And then the crazy guys. So this is an interesting machine here. you can see that it's actually designed for this kind of stuff, where it actually has a cable and stuff. You can actually see a small little cable right here that goes up and over this bank and is tied off to something, either a bulldozer or a huge concrete head or something that's up top. And that's all this guy is doing, is he's just sloping this stuff out, getting rid of the vegetation. And what they're probably going to do is put a retaining wall or something up there to protect from the mountain sliding off. And I think the government or whatever had just decided that this was an unsafe slope, and they're just sloping it out a little, not a whole lot, but they're doing a little bit. But that's crazy stuff when you start getting into that. Oh, you had talked about long reaches last week. So here's a long reach. So you can see the advantages of a long reach. Being able to dig all the way down in the bottom of holes, reach areas that you couldn't normally reach. It's a very specialized machine. Oh. Okay, this was a funny one. This is over either China or Japan. They're trying to do, this is an actual class where they're actually teaching kids how to do things. Now, this is what the rookie does. He can't pick it up and get it in there. So this is a professional operator versus a rookie operator. So you can see that the rookie operator went first, and that's the professional operator. The professional operator has done enough to know that there are tricks that you can do to pick things up off the ground without having to get off and do the manual labor. And operators, we become as lazy as possible and we figure things out like this. We get tired, and when you're young, jumping on and off the machine, no big deal. But when you start getting to my age, I'm gonna find a way to pick up or do something with the machine instead of actually getting off the machine and doing something. And that, a lot of people see that as us being lazy. We see that as us, saving time by not getting off the machine. Bunch of AI junk, AI picture. Well, let's see what we've got going on here. Jaw-dropping excavator operator skills. So crazy you'd think they were fake. The guy got buried in the mud. Okay, this is a black clay. Machine's actually still running. This black clay stuff is really bad. It's kind of deceiving sometimes. So this black clay in watery sections, so you can see there's the topsoil over the top of it, and then you run into this black gray like clay, and it will swallow stuff. Now you start out by going across the top of it. You're moving around. The ground seems a little jiggly, no big deal. And what happens is you break through the crust and you get into that slime, and then the machine just goes thump, and you're sunk. So I think what's going to happen here, we're going to use the old bucket and bucket where they're going to pull each other out. So let's not pull in. So we're tracking. The other guy finally got his track dug in. But look at that. You can just see that thing just plowing through that mud. And you can see we've got mud and whatnot got about halfway up the machine here while he was trying to lift one side out and got mud all over it. Now, I have seen this happen. I have experienced this situation. I have not ever gotten a machine stuck myself because I prefer not to stick myself in those situations. So here we got a guy, we're cutting a road or doing something. I don't know what we're doing here. Now, this stuff, when you're working and you have overhead over the machine. This stuff is like super dangerous because you have falling rocks. Yeah, the wall caves in, and this takes a lot of time to learn how this stuff works. You can see that there's an overhang right there. Just break enough and you get the hell out. And then it all comes tumbling down, and hopefully you're not involved in it. And in a lot of countries, this is how they make their roads. They just rip out the ground, let it all fall down the slope, self-building. Ooh, that's getting scary. Yep. And there's big rocks involved. Those big rocks. Oh, ooh, that is a huge one there. Okay, this is 6015B. This is a mining machine. They are disassembling this rig. You can see how they took, that's the stick and bucket they took off. That pin, let's go back. I want to go back. So here, the pin that is on this machine, that pin right there, that thing probably weighs 800 pounds. That thing is enormous. So that's probably around, what, 380 kilos or something like that. All right, search for the 6090FS. It is the largest cat machine ever. Okay, I'll do that. We'll do that right after I'm done with this video, because I'm kind of liking this little video here. Let's see if I can make this. This is real interesting because the size of this machine that they've got, like, it's a mining machine. Now, because this is a 6015 and you're telling me to look up a 6090, holy crap, that thing's got to be enormous. But specialized, everything, all this stuff has to have their pathways, everything has to be measured before they actually take these machines and drive them around. Oh, we're gonna run over a truck. That poor C10. Oh God, today that truck would be so valuable. This is probably a demonstration that they did at a mine just to show you how fast. Oh, that's a D11. That's an enormous machine. I'm still trying to find. I know a company. I have friends that work for a company that have these machines, and I'm trying to find a way to where I can get onto a project, even if it's on a weekend or something, and go get a little bit of video of me just playing around with the machine just for a little bit, seeing if I can get access to one of these giant machines. What do we do here? Oh, testing the waters. No rippers on it. Okay, water coming out of the radiator. The guy's got second thoughts. He's going to throw it in reverse. Get himself out. Or try to. The ground's rocky. He's got the single. So if you look at these track pads, like I was telling you before, these are the single Grouser track pads. So they only have one vertical stab on it that is a little taller than the stuff I use. Now we're going to go back to the excavator with the grabber again. Pull them all out. And that's what we do. We help each other out when there's an issue. And that's the big thing. A lot of rookie operators will do when they get into trouble. If you get into trouble, just stop. Ask for help. Find someone that's going to help you or has the experience, and they will help get you out of the bad situation that you've gotten yourself into. There we go. Make that picture bigger for you. But here is just a couple of dozers going down a hill. A whole bunch of them. this is an interesting machine. So we've got, they're ripping something up. Oh no, they're loading the truck. Okay, boring stuff. I bet you that guy, unless this is like a southern country, that dude is cold. Now, you got some risks with doing stuff like this. Water getting into your fuel system, hydraulic system, because they're not necessarily so. Let's see if I can get a better pause. No, it's not going to pause very well. But over here is the fill cap for the fuel tank. If that submerges, it actually is ventilated and water can get into the fuel system. And then you've got to try to, there is a water fuel separator on the engine compartment, and you can go back there, turn a little valve, it dumps the water out of the fuel system. So let me see, what machine do we have? This is a bigger machine. What is this one? That's a 6030. We're getting closer to that 6090. But yeah, that's a huge machine. But you see the short boom's got 2 hydraulic rams on it. Big power. Big power on that. Those machines never go anywhere. They stay at the mine or wherever they're put together. They typically don't go anywhere else. Logging. Oops. Seatbelt. Seatbelt. Where's your seatbelt? Put the boom down. Quit playing with the steering wheel. Oh, God. Oh, God, that's bad. Cushions, guys. The cushions of the road are just that. It's a cushion. They fail. So if you drive off the side of the road, even in a vehicle, you're going to have a bad day. Especially next to where there's water. Alright, so they're using the outriggers to stabilize the crane. Oh yeah, look at that. That's really soft. That's what we call peat material. It's super soft. Dude, the guy was in the machine while they're moving it, while they're picking up. Wow. Hydro hammer. Truck picking up. Alright. So this is a different type of trailer. The trailer actually goes underneath the center of the machine here. So they've got a bunch of dunnage. Now for the really big machines like the 390s and stuff like that, this is how they transport them. They don't transport them on a low boy, which would be where the track, where it's wide enough they put the tracks on it. They actually put these skinnier trailers and they actually lift the frame of the machine, and they have hydraulics on the truck, on the bed, that actually lift the trailer up high enough to pick up the machines. And off they go. So that one, see, all these European companies, they do things a lot different. 385. Now, I've run a 385 before, except the one I ran had a much longer stick on it. It wasn't that color. I'm sure that's the company's color. All right. Demolition. Uh-oh. We got a broken hydraulic line here. Or that's water being pumped in for dust control. Because a lot of, yeah, it's got to be water for dust control. Demolition is one of those jobs that's a specialty, and not every, I mean, just because you're a heavy equipment operator doesn't mean you get to do this kind of stuff all the time, unless you're with a demolition company. Old machine, trying to pick up a big rock. It's a 988. That is a big rig. He is desperate to get that rock. He's trying to prove a point. We bounce it, try to pick it up. Good technique. Oh, he's just shoving it off the side of the hill. So we're using the curl of the bucket to move the rock a little bit and the power of the machine, not getting ourselves up too high like that previous guy with the wood. As soon as so that guy that was on that oh, this is cool. I've seen this one before. Guy's going to pull himself out into the trench and get down into the canal with his backhoe. Get your outriggers down, keep the thing nice and straight. Front wheels are going to fall off the edge. Oh, he lowers himself down in there. It's a little bit of time lapse, but now he can reach up and underneath the bridge a little bit, and we're just cleaning up all the mess. So it's probably got a concrete bottom on it, so it's not a soft bottom canal. So it's all concrete. It's just debris and muck build up over time. Then you get all the foliage and whatnot. Ooh, the spider rig. So these machines are pretty cool, where the wheels and it's got stabbers that move in all directions that are pretty cool. So you get to go places and do things. It's not as extreme as that one we saw earlier on the slope. That one was pretty more of the extreme machine style. So we got 4 people watching now. So you guys that have come in, if you've got any questions, comments, or anything, throw them into the chat roll for me. If you like what you're watching, we're doing fine. Just keep watching, just hanging out, watching some stuff. Now these heads, these rotational heads, these things are cool. I have never used one. I want to use one before I retire. Guy diving off the side of a slope. This can be dangerous if you can't keep everything in a straight line. If your tracks twist or turn a little bit, you're gonna just take off or flip the machine. It'll cause problems, but he did a good job. It's a good way to do it. Oh, the shovel. Now this is a mining machine, 100% mining machine. We're still running on, this is probably a diesel electric. And most of these things, they have like 1 or 2 diesel engines that power huge generators that run the hydraulic system off a electrical pump. And it gives them a ton of power, a ton of torque. You can see the bucket here is a clamshell style. That's the way most of these diggers are. He's not getting full buckets, but I mean, it's rock. Somebody's trying to get stylish with their... Yeah, let's see how many machines we can stick on a frickin' truck. We got 1, 2, 3 excavators and looks like 2 small dozers. Holy crap. That would not fly here in the United States. That would not be legal. Holy cow. Look at old Kobelco, Komatsu. 2 Komatsus and a Kobelco. Those old Kobelcos are junk. That's an Asian country, so... Yeah, see this a few times. Hey, Windsor, welcome in. You showed up late. I don't have a whole lot going on. I just thought I'd watch some YouTube. I was going to do some editing, But I think it's way too boring to do it. Oh, they could put someone in the truck and pulled the truck out. Okay. It's a different. That's I actually like that. That's not a bad way to do it. Truck backed up too far, went off the edge. That's what happened there. Oh, we're going to try and rip the tailgate off. Put some. It looks like they threw some dirt in the back of the truck to cushion. But boy, this is how you destroy the bed of a truck. You see it starting to pick that bed up a little bit. The ground is soft enough for this to happen. That is not how you want to do that. I've run one of these. These things are crazy to run. This is a what they call a skidder. This is a logging skidder, hence pulling logs through the trees and stuff like that. These things have a ton of power, and they got those big wheels that allow them to go through muck and in between trees, over rocks, all kinds of cool stuff. The one I ran did not have the blade on the front of it. So you can see on the back of it, and I'm pointing at the screen like you can see where I'm pointing. So on the back of the machine, there's two cables, winches that you can run out and then pull, which helps. Oh, that's a bad day. Bam. Ooh, hydraulic lines didn't snap. The hydraulic lines didn't snap. 984. I don't know that company. Now, I haven't run any. The biggest rig I've run is a 385, which was. I'm trying to remember how heavy that machine was. I think they said it was 180,000 pounds or something like that. God, look at the bed of that truck flexing the wrong way. Because normally those things are designed with a flex this way, so that way when you put weight on them, they flatten out. But that thing's bowed the opposite direction. Very unstable. Go around a corner a little too fast, that thing's going to roll. But again, they're in a mining area. Instead of the machine tracking all the way from point A to point B, it is a lot faster to do this, load it onto the trailer, transport it to where it needs to work. Alright, so we're at the end of that video. We wanted to look up, for Tran, we wanted to look up that 690 FS. Let's do that. 690 FS. And this is the shovel style. Yeah. I need to look up the stats specifications. See, Google does it for me. 1,000 ton operating weight, a 52 cubic meter bucket capacity with 4,500 horsepower from its dual Cummins QSK 60 engines. It's designed for efficient overburden removal and ore extraction in mining operations. Yeah, that is one big girl. So, overburden. Do we know what overburden is? You forgot. So you got any new vids coming out this week? It's kind of what I was working on was editing a video here in the background, just kind of getting started on it. I don't have any lined up at this time. I guess you'd say my ADHD is blocking me from actually working on videos. I can actually pull up. It's just like I did this morning. I've got the video in the background, so I've got my video editing software here. I put the intro into it, so I've got the intro, my little intro going right here, and then I've got the beginning of the body of the video, and I'm trying to lay it out, and my brain just goes, no, don't do it, you can't do it, or I'm not going to let you do it, more or less. My brain just really does hate me, I guess. So again, see, I click right back to this because I'm more interested in doing this. Because my brain loves to scroll through shorts. That machine, I would love to be able to run that for a day. And now the controls on these machines are completely different than a standard excavator. I believe they're kind of backwards. I would imagine they're similar, but you just operate it in the reverse thinking. It's kind of like when I take my bucket on my excavator and I turn the bucket around backwards and I dig with a bucket backwards. The same theory. It's just it's got a clamshell on it instead of a curl. It's got a clamshell. No, it does curl too. It does have a curl. Okay, well, it's probably got one extra little, maybe a thumb switch or something that operates the clam on it. I'd love to see how that actually works.
Horsepower. It was built in the United States. The title of the biggest excavator in the world belongs to the Caterpillar 6090 FS. It is a hydraulic excavator that weighs 1,102 tons and has an engine rating of 4,500 horsepower. It was built in the United States and is the successor to the Bucyrus RH400, which was previously the world's largest hydraulic excavator.
So it's still a hydraulic excavator. Yeah, it's a little model of it. Stupid game. Oh. See if we got some excavator fails. Yeah, I love failures. Oh, God. All right. I need to read read your comments here real quick before I get into that. I've backed a Arctic dump truck off a pile like that. Luckily, I just backed down the slope, and it was that height. But that's what happens when you work at night and your dozer guy sucks. So basically you're telling me that your dozer guy didn't leave you that little tiny cushion right before, so there's a pile, there's a big drop off where you're dumping, and if the dozer is good, he'll come in and it'll lift right before the material pushes off, and that leaves a small little cushion that the truck drivers will back up and touch. That way they know exactly where the edge of the cushion or the edge of the slope is. Or they can just push it straight off and you just back up and you just don't know where the edge is unless there's a spotter there. All right, mini excavators is where we find a lot of fails. And like this. Whoops. Off balance. Flipped over. Done. So, and see the mistake he made here is the blade is uphill instead of downhill. You always want to keep your blade downhill because more times than not, that blade on those little minis will save you from flipping over. But you can tell that these little minis, the tracks are real short. And these are yard tractors, what I call a garden tractor. And they're purpose built. You see it's in the back of their yard. But to make a point here, so the tracks are not very long, and the cab is bigger than the machine. So your center of gravity is very high. So it has a tendency to flip over even on flat ground. I actually almost flipped one over on flat ground. What the? That is a homemade excavator from hell. Yeah, let's keep holding on to that control, buddy. Let's find. Ooh. Yeah, this is a thing. Getting rocks stuck between the tandems on your trucks. Having to pull them out. Oh, no. Get out of the way, dude. Oh, wow, it hung up. That's a shipping yard crane that they're dismantling very quickly. Another crane too close to a soft edge. So, for those of you not in the industry, the way these trucks work is the drive wheels, not all the wheels in the back of the truck drive, where they're all connected, they all have drive capability, but typically the front set of the front axle, they work just like your regular car. The wheels can move separately. They both drive, but when you go around a corner, one will spin faster than the other. So typically, if you get stuck in you get stuck in mud, one set of wheels will just sit there and spin. They have an air locker that will lock the both wheels both sides together. Then both of them lock in. So now you got four wheels that are turning, not two axles, just the front axles turning the four wheels. And then they have the ability to lock in the drive shaft for the rear axle to give them 8-wheel drive. So that's how these trucks are designed. So that way they have this problem. They spin the wheel a little bit, okay, they back off, they flip a switch, lock in all the wheels, and then it pushes them up and out of the hole or wherever they're stuck, and then they unlock everything, go back to that standard drive. Tie down your loads. That's all I gotta say about that one. These foreign countries like to overload their trucks. Congratulations. Oh, trucks don't stop good when you're overloaded. Everyone flipped over. Cool. Boring, boring, boring. What we got here? Yeah. That truck's done. Just shove it off the side of the hill, call it a day. Overloaded. Dude jumps out because he doesn't want to wear a seatbelt and say goodbye to the truck. Right next to a tower crane. Look at how much... That's all brick that they put into these trucks. Oh, and goodbye. Alright. Can someone tell me what the mistake made here with this load? Windsor, I know you know what the issue is here. Somebody put the load where? Yeah, Windsor, putting the bucket on backwards. I've done it so much, it's second nature to me. Yep. Okay, so yeah, they're supposed to leave a pile for you to back up against, so that way you don't fall off the back of the dump area. So what we've got here is the load that was put onto this truck when you do these loads, you want to put these heavy loads not in the center of the bed. You want to load the heaviest stuff, whatever it is you're putting on the concrete or whatever. You want to put the heavy loads over the axles because those are the load bearing areas. They're designed to hold the weight. The center of the trailer is not where you want to put the load. You want it on the forward to go over the truck axles, and then you want it all the way at the back to go over the trailer axles. And then you put your lighter stuff in the middle. Especially when you're working with big steel. They have these big companies that make all this flat iron steel that are in giant rolls. And those rolls are, I don't even know how heavy those things are, but they're really heavy. Trucks flipping over. All these fail videos are pretty much the same. They're always in a foreign country. Somebody forgot to turn off the chute. Mud. This is another example of mud. You lock up your wheels. So if you're in ice and whatever, that's... Oh, buddy, your front axle came off. Okay, flip the truck inside a building. Flip the truck inside a building. How do you flip a truck like that? Okay, this guy's carrying stone. It's during the winter. He's going to get lucky if he can save this. He's turning into it. Nope. Ah, the load fell off. Perfect. Truck is still safe. They can come pick up the stones later. Dude, you can't park there. Overloaded every time. I don't know why these countries do this. They overload the hell out of their trucks. The ground cannot handle that stuff. Hey, I got a new follower. Got my Circles app going here. Accept. Thank you. Sure, why not? Sure. Yes. Sure. Okay. Sorry. Out of that. Okay. I love my... the Circles app is gonna... I mean, guys... Windsor, I don't know if you've downloaded it yet or not, but... you should check it out. I've invested into the company, and it's... If they go big like they say they're going to, it's going to be a big payoff. Some people are saying that once they IPO it and goes to the stock market, it's going to just be worth tons and tons of money. I've probably got around over 2,000 shares of it right now, but it's not public. But you can invest in the company through a site called WeFunder. So, Circles is an application. Let me, since you asked, I will do this. And it's Circles with an S, not a C. So, yeah, Circles. So, Circles is basically, so you have the standard, what is it, Yelp. Circles was designed to kill Yelp, because Yelp is basically a bunch of, Yelp has been created to strong arm or be thugs against businesses. So if you want good reviews, so if you go to Yelp to a company, a business, small business or whatever in your area, and you want to check them out and see what they're about and read reviews on whether or not they're a good company, and they got nothing but bad reviews. The reason there's nothing but bad reviews is because the company has not paid Yelp's fee to have all the good reviews put up first. Yelp is really, really a bad thing to use, because it's that all the businesses that have all the positive reviews have paid Yelp's strong arm prices to get the good reviews up top. As soon as you stop paying that, Yelp will pull all those good reviews away and put them at the bottom of the list and force all the bad reviews on top. And it really hurts businesses not to pay Yelp. So Circles is a an app that only, so all right, you and I, Windsor, we're a friend, okay? You and I, we work in different areas. Say I go to you, so you have the Circles app, you go to your restaurants, you go to stores in your area, and if you remember, like I have a problem remembering, I go to my Circles app and I'll recommend the store or food place or whatever to go to. I recommend it. I trust you. You're a guy I trust. You're in my circle of friends or my circle of trust, and hence Circles. So when I am down in your area, I haven't met you yet, but I know you're living in that area. So I go to my Circles app, I go to the map where I'm at, and I look and I'll do a search for something for food. And it'll show me a map of all the places that are recommended by my friends. And it'll have a picture, your icon picture will pop up, and I go, oh, look, Windsor likes this place. Let me tap on it. And you leave a positive review, boom, I'm going there. That's where I'm going for lunch. I don't have to go drive around. I don't have to search a place. Boom, there, map it. I go. You said it was good. I'm going to trust you. I go there. That's what Circles is. So that way, Circles does not have negative reviews. They're all about positivity, which is a good thing in this time. And hopefully, they will expand to the point where they're going to go country wide. Currently, they're in the Sacramento area. This is where their home is, and this is why I got invested in them years ago. I invested into them, God, I think 5 years ago. Yeah, so it's same thing. And most of those reviews on the Google Maps are from Yelp. So that's how Google does their reviews. They also pull reviews off of Yelp that way. But it's just about friends helping friends. So that way you don't have to swim through all the negative comments to find positive comments on businesses, food places, and things like that. Now, it's not designed for like, oh, this Starbucks is better than this Starbucks or whatever. It's for that hole in the wall restaurant, that Mexican restaurant that nobody goes to but is really good and only the locals know about. That way, your circle of friends, you're not sharing it to the entire world unless the people follow you. So that's another thing you can do is you don't have to be my friend, but you can follow me and still see all my choices. Bad part of reviews is people are more likely to leave a bad review than a good because you're more likely to think of adding a review if you're pissed. That is very true. And that's the cool thing about Yelp is Yelp will not let you do that. And if you put up if you put up a review that is negative, they will remove it. And everybody that's involved in the whole Yelp or the whole Circles thing, they're all watching that stuff. If somebody's leaving negative reviews, they will straight up cut them off and not let them do it. So again, like I said, it's all about positive stuff. Ad free rapid growth. This really doesn't show you much. I was kind of hoping to see a little more, but let me. So I'm gonna. No, come on, get away. Badges, no, back. Chat. Okay, I'm gonna go to my home. So let's see. Let me get this sorted out so you guys can actually see it. There we go. So this is kind of it's really kind of washed out, isn't it? But anyways, wish it was a little better. But I can go up to food, Italian restaurants, and you can't see it, can you? But you can see, okay, there we go. So you can see the recommendations there by people for Mexican food. And all I have to do is I can pick one. Zoom in here. So there's the review. I just tapped on one of the images there. It's a quick little, come on, focus. You can do it. All right. Well, anyways, the review pops up on the bottom. You're not allowed to make like gigantic read-through things that you have to go through. It's pretty cool. I like it. I've still got room in my circle if somebody wants to join my circle. So I just had another guy become my friend. So you've got followers, you got friends, and then you have your inner circle of friends. The inner circle will have priority on the maps of you can actually tap on the person and it'll isolate all their recommendations versus other stuff. But okay, this video is getting old here. I actually want to see excavator fails. All the fails are always in these weird countries. Ooh, specialized. Dangerous excavators, heavy equipment operators. Alright, let me get you guys back to my display setup. There we go. Okay, I got a couple more comments. I'll grab these comments here real quick. When I join the construction industry, I may have to download that app. Dude, you don't have to wait till you're in construction. You can do it now. I mean, you've got friends at school and stuff like that, even your family. So this is designed for family and stuff like that. Get your family involved with it and just look at it. I mean, download it, look at it. It's free. If you don't like it, you can delete it. They don't. And the cool thing about this company is these are actually technician nerds that designed this app, and they're still working on it constantly. They've still got they still got 2 more years of planning, and they're pushing it out, rolling out. There's a lot of things they haven't implemented yet that are on their roadmap. So because I'm an investor, I have investor chat on it, so we get to talk directly with the developers, which is really cool. There's a lot of benefits to being an investor at this point. You get to hear all the things that they're doing and what they're working on and what is going to be doing. And they actually listen to us at what we would like to see in the app, make suggestions. Some of the suggestions are taken. Some of them they've already tried and don't like. And they reply right away. The guys they work tirelessly. They're working like 24 hours a day on this stuff. And they're in a funding venture right now. They like I said, they go through WeFunder. Let's see. So WeFunder is just a site that allows you to search for. All right, I'm going to take that off while I log in. because they do a whole bunch of stuff at the beginning of the login that's I don't need you guys to see. So WeFunder here. Let me see, get this sorted out so you guys can see it. I think that's going to do it. All right, so on WeFunder, you can explore all the different, there's a whole bunch of different things you can invest in. Some of them are just absolutely stupid. But let's do a search for the circles. So here, circles is better than, it's better in here. Fuck the haters. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things. You can see how much they've raised. They talk about the team. The Circles just broke $7 million raised in total. They explain everything. Let me see. And the nice thing about WeFunder is so there's an impact report. There's a whole lot of different things here. So you get terms, and WeFunder holds these companies liable for everything. So there's only 12. Okay, there's only 12 days left in the funding. So you can do. Let's see. Pitch feeder, investor panel. I'm not going to go there. See, they had. All right, so if you go in here, they have certain levels. So if you invest certain amounts of money, you get perks. So it's just, they have videos, they have everything you need to know about the company. Circles is live on iOS, Android, and have already surpassed 50,000 users. Our app store rating is a 4.6 star on the iOS. Over 30,000 unique businesses have already been favorited inside Circles. We've also recognized major tech accelerators receiving 100,000 in credit from Amazon, AWS Activities Program, and NVIDIA's accelerator. That's a big supporter. NVIDIA, anyone that knows anything about computers, NVIDIA supporting them is big. Powering our infrastructure as we scale. They actually, when they first started this, they had a different set of coders, people that were working on the app, and it wound up having a lot of problems. They fired all those guys and restarted and started the whole application from scratch to make it better using different code. But anyways, we can get back to the heavy equipment. Oh. But what if it's a legit bad review? If they had a bad service, that's the key here. If there's bad service and you don't like the place or whatever, you don't leave a review. Nobody knows the place exists if you don't tell them about it. That's the key thing. No negativity. So if you don't recommend a place, you don't put it in your recommendations. It's pretty simple. What's the excavator on the top of this one? This here is the 5110B. It's a big beast of a machine too. So that's what I've got here. I've got another one. I've got machines sitting all over. I've got that. I've got a loader back here, 992G. This is another mining loader. I've got a compactor over here on my other computer. So this is my editing rig. So here we got a 836G compactor. This is what they use at like dumps for trash, refuge, and stuff like that. So it's got big, long, tall spikes for compacting the trash. Big grill up here for any debris or anything that like flies up and hits this, keeps it off the machine, because it's really kind of a lightweight machine for pushing material around, but it is big. And then I've got another excavator. This is more of the size that you would see on a lot of jobs. This is a 365B. So this is an older machine. It is dusty as all get out. I need to clean my stuff a little better, or stick up with it. Where's my compressed air? I don't have my compressed air. But anyways, this is more of what you would see on a job site, a little closer. Right-sized buckets, tracks. These are rubber tracks, not the steel tracks that are on that one, but tracks still move around and stuff like that. So you can see these spin. Everything moves on it, so you can position it in cool places. So those are some of mine. I also have a backhoe. I've got some more stuff that is up in the top corner of my room back there that I haven't pulled out, because I want to put a shelf right here. So I'm probably going to take these signs, move them up. I'm going to paint over this and then move this, and then I want to put a shelf right here and put all the equipment back there to give you guys something to look at in the background. Maybe ask some questions like you're doing right now. I've worked around the... Ooh, really? So you worked at a coal mine. Wow. Before I got in the IUOE. I always say those letters backwards. I think it had a 10-yard bucket on it. Dude, I know. That's enormous. 10 yards. I think the biggest I've dug with is a 6-yard bucket. That's the biggest I've done. Let's see what these crazy guys are doing. Little mini excavator. Oh, he's tied off. Okay, I was wondering why he was sideways with the tracks. But you can see there's a little cable pulley system, so they can raise and lower him up and down the slopes. Purpose-built machine here. These guys, that is not something I would necessarily want to do. Excavator on a barge. This is actually a good designed barge here. It's kind of hard to see, but it actually has raised edges to prevent the machine from sliding and twisting. That is really cool design. But you can see how the boat is moving around as you're swinging around with the load. Wow, that's just wow. These machines, either they're electric or they've got snorkels or something running on them to keep them moving. Dude, could you imagine having to be in the water all day running a machine and just being, if they're not wearing a dry suit, you're going to be like a wrinkled prune at the end of the day. Okay, so Windsor, you started at the coal mine right out of high school, running 40-ton haul trucks. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, I feel like another guy not wearing a seatbelt, using the roll cage for bracing to keep his butt in the seat. All right, so nope, you missed. You gotta go. Oh, I did make it. Okay. Yeah, doing that stuff is always sketchy. Now, I had seen a picture on the intro on this thing. Holy smokes. So, all these pads are probably remote control, and they're all tied together to work in unison. I don't even know what the hell that they're building. Almost looks like a spaceship, doesn't it? Oh, that was for an offshore mining rig. Okay, that's the base for offshore mining. Dude, could you imagine having to be inside that, having a crane set this down on top of you? They do the same thing when they're doing like the big wind generators. So Windsor, have you ever had a moment where you thought you were gonna flip an excavator or something? Oh, here we go. D11. Those things are. That's just cool. And oh, these are the so I had talked about push pulls and how they hook together. So you can see, I keep pointing with my finger, but right here in between the machines, this is a hook and bale system. So you've got the push block here for pushing. You can see the material is loading and just what we call boiling up. Now you're not supposed to hook more than two machines together, although I have seen four hooked together. But the problem is that hook on the front or the bale, the hoop that comes down on the hook on the back of the previous machine, there's so much pressure from all those other machines pulling on it. The last machine is more likely to break that bale off. So you got six engines there, and what's that? Same and a ton of tires all pulling. Here's a paddle wheel. We actually have a company that on the job site I'm on that's working with these right now. This is your what is it, 623? Yeah, 623 paddle wheel holds about 20 yards of material. The paddle wheel helps self load itself, so it's not actually having to use just the engine and the torque of the wheels to pull the conventional style scraper through the ground to scoop up the material. So they're self loading basically. And the cool thing is those chains with those paddles will actually run backwards when you unload it as well. Not yet in the hoe, luckily, but have had the bed fall over. have been lucky. The only thing that I have flipped is my personal truck, and I did that when I was 17 years old. I had the truck for just 1 year. It was a 81 Toyota SR5, and that thing, I have not seen one of those. But that's the only thing I've rolled is my personal truck. It was lifted, 33-inch tires on a little Toyota. But that's the only thing I've flipped. I've come close to flipping a loader. I've had loaders on two wheels before. That was scary. I did that when I was an apprentice. And then I did an excavator when I crawled down into the V ditch I had to do a tie-in trenching where I was coming this way and coming that way, and I was tying in a little piece of the trench to get the little bit of dirt. So I had climbed down. The tracks were not long enough to span the top of the trench, so I actually crawled down into the trench, sat down, and then something happened. For some reason, I thought, oh, hey, why don't I just get in line with the trench so I could track up and down the walls? And it was benched out, so I could do that. Instead of going to the end of the trench, tracking down into the trench like you should, I thought I could just pick myself up and twist. Well, when I picked up and twisted and sat down, it was one tip of the track on the front, one tip of the track in the back, and the whole thing just started to go over backwards. I was quick enough to stick my boom and bucket out straight, and it brought me back flat, and then I changed my mind and went back and then climbed back out of the hole and then went around. But yeah, I've come close. I have never flipped a machine, but I've come close. Jesse. So just so you guys know, this guy that's posting right now, Jesse Carrasco, I started with his crew, working with him as a laborer. He was a laborer, and then he became a operator, so he became a C-list operator. The company sponsored him as an operator because he was on the machines all the time anyway. And so we all just got together and told the company, just put him into the operators. And he became kind of my apprentice for years. And I was teaching him how to run all the different machines. He was all excited. I remember when he first started running machines, he thought, this is the greatest job in the world. He's probably sitting here laughing at himself or me right now. But now he looks at it, it's more of a job again. But it's still a fun job to do. Jesse has moved on to, I don't know if it's bigger and better things, but he's now a foreman for the company, and he's telling people what to do and yelling at them. And he ran equipment for quite a few years, and he's got a good base of education from me. So, Jesse, we're proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. We're happy you're where you're at. Because you're moving up. I mean, you're smarter than some of us. Yep. Some of you guys that have been Windsor, you've been around watching my videos long enough. You probably know who he is. You've seen him in a few of my videos. Bigger but not better. Yeah, you're welcome, bud. Yeah, I know how much you love being a foreman, and they managed to draw you back in. Jesse, for a while, he was a cleanup foreman, hated it, and told the company, I don't want to do that anymore, and then went back to being an operator, and that wound up being short-lived. Our boss, Andy, had a car accident early this year, and then Jesse said, you know what, they asked Jesse to step in and be the foreman until Andy got better. Andy came back. Jesse got to be an operator for, a couple of weeks. And then one of the other foremans was bumped up to a superintendent, and they asked Jesse, since he was already being a foreman, to go ahead and step into this other guy's shoes and take on the role of foreman for a larger crew. So he's on a pretty intense project. Are you still working nights, Jesse? I agree with you, Windsor. That's why I train up all my guys to be better than me, so they can all be foremans. Okay, you're not working nights anymore. That's good. Um, so how is so Jesse is working at a hospital job. They were working on steam lines and doing other things. I haven't kept up with you, bud, but if you throw in a couple comments of what you guys have been doing. Oh, dude, I don't have that. If you can send, you're the one that found that, dude. That is so awesome. I saw the picture of it. Send it to me, dude. I'll get that up right away. So if you send that to me. So just a little story of this. So I guess Jesse's the one that found it, but they're digging through the site, and what happened was they found a mortar round in the ground in the trench, and he found little boy. But they found a mortar round in the ground. They dug it up. This is the story I heard. I haven't heard it directly from anybody. If I knew it was Jesse, I would have called him. I would have called you and found out. Got the story from the horse's mouth, so to speak. But what had happened is they found this mortar, and the story I got is they took someone had taken the mortar and put it in the office in a filing cabinet. And this is what I was told. And then they didn't call the bomb squad or anything like that to dispose of it. This is something that happens on job sites. Unfortunately, it's to prevent work stoppage. We do dumb things like this. Hey, look, we found an explosive. Oh, I'll take it and I'll put it in the office in the filing cabinet under hope I don't die file. I don't know. It's that is probably one of the dumbest things I had ever heard, unless the guy was ex-military, looked at it and kind of knew what it was. Found out later that was a dummy round. It was like practice ordnance or something like that. Right? Was it right? Yeah, oh yeah, I got a mortar round we dug out of the ground right in my filing cabinet next to me. That thing goes off, there goes half the staff. So, dude, I'm Jesse waiting on that picture, dude. Send it. No picture? Come on. Jesse. There we go. No? Yes? There it is. Alright. Dude, that is old. Alright, I gotta get this uploaded. Oh, nope. Oh, phone's unplugged. Can't. I gotta save it. Come on, stop it. Alright. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. Dude, the AI stuff is getting out of control. Alright. Dude. I mean, did you like have a heart attack or anything when that thing popped up out of the ground? Let's see. We got, there we go. That's a better one. Dude, that is crazy. Look at that. So you're digging around, and just a bomb pops up out of the ground. I see there's a shovel next to it. Did we like dig it up? I mean, how did the operator hit it? What the hell? Holy crap! Yeah, I agree there, Trent. I don't know why we didn't call cops or anything like that when it was first discovered. You thought it was a sprinkler head? How deep was this? How deep did we find this thing? Ooh, you found it with the vac truck. Okay, you found it with a vac truck. It didn't get sucked up in the vac truck. No, this is so I know exactly where Jesse's working. He's in downtown. Well, he's not even. It's not really downtown. It's not close to anything that I would have called an old military base. There was a. I'm trying to think of what used to be there. There was a one of the areas I was digging in was a was an old God, I can't even think of it, graveyard. There was an old graveyard, and they told us, hey, if you find any bones or anything like that, there's a whole lot of Indian stuff that could be in the area. Front of the parking garage entrance. Dude, people have been driving over bombs for years. That's crazy. It's an artifact. It's a freaking. No, we're not going to call the police an artifact. Oh my god. Yeah, an artifact that can kill people. Jesus. 2.5 feet down in front of the parking garage. That is crazy. So Jesse's working in a hospital area right now, and I've been on and off the projects around that area. So I've got a video that's in that area. Go to my channel, videos. We gotta go back a little ways. So my shoring job this big shoring pit that we had done. This is in the general area of where he's at. So in the background here, what you see is the hospitals. There's a cancer center. To my right, off to my right, is the emergency room. And I believe that parking lot is being dug up, or have they finished digging up that parking lot? I haven't been there. I was out there I think 2 weeks ago. I was out there, but on a different street. I got to see Jesse. He's still working in the same location that they've been for the last couple of years. We've done parking garages, another project called Aggie Square that we had done together, and I was working down the street from that project. But this is kind of the area that he's in right now. So this video, guys, is available to watch. It's slide rail install day 2. This is another one of those series of videos I actually didn't finish. I think I've got 4 days that I actually did finish. So this is another operator across from me running a 350. We eventually brought out a long reach for the other operator to use on that side because his machine, that 350, couldn't reach the bottom of the hole. While mine can. Trying to see if we could find something But yeah, there's not a whole lot of view of what's going on around the area. So you can see here that's like the emergency room entrance for the was it for the ambulances and whatnot to go into. Yeah, Windsor, you seen them. You seen people hide artifacts, Indian artifacts and stuff like that, keep from jobs from getting shut down. That's unfortunately that's pretty much the norm for big projects. Is if even with animals and stuff, snakes, frogs and stuff like that. If you're when you go through your introduction and stuff like that, it's you're sitting there and you're being told all these things. If you see this, you see that, then you need to report it and tell them, hey, we found something. We need to shut down and do this. The problem is that when Indian artifacts are involved, if you find one little arrowhead or if you, God forbid, find a bowl or anything or a stone that's grooved out for mashing up grains into powders to make bread and stuff. If you find anything like that, they will shut down the project and put a 150-foot circle around that artifact, and it will be God knows how long till they send people out, archaeologists, to actually hand dig that entire area and find out if there's more artifacts there. It becomes a major problem, and that's why a lot of people just keep your mouth shut. You found it, set it to the side. I don't recommend taking Indian artifacts home. A lot of people believe that stuff is cursed, especially when you get into burial sites and stuff like that. If you find a burial site, that you need to report. If there's human remains or something, that should be reported. But if you're finding like a little artifact or something like a tooth or something stupid, or even animals and whatnot, those are all things that that's up to you if you want to make that call. Take it to the foreman, let the foreman decide. Yeah, the whole species BS. Yeah, every time every time we do like the one we did, the job we just came off of, we had to do a whole animal thing because there's snakes. We were near a river, so we had to watch out for the certain type of frog and certain type of snake. We found snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes. I have other guys. So Jesse, if you're still watching, Manny is deathly afraid of snakes. I mean, we saw I was actually, the funny thing, this is funny because we were actually walking around the job site and we were getting closer to the river, and I'm telling Manny about snakes and this and that and how they like water and they're more afraid of you than you are of them. And he's like, yeah, I don't care. And then at that very moment, Andy was walking away from us and tripped over a snake. And he jumped, and then we were both looking at Andy like, what the hell? He goes, dude, there's a snake right here. And Manny just went right to the water truck and jumped in the water truck. Said, nope, I am done. I am out of here. That's it. But it's funny stuff. So again, if you're not, for me, I just pick up whatever animal it is and I'll move it off the site or into a safe area and let them go. That's the best way to do it. It's just get them out of the way. You're afraid of snakes too, yeah. So we're still trying to come up with. I think we need to order up a rubber snake and really scare the hell out of Manny. But as I was digging, I actually found a snake that was in the trench line. The dirt had cracked and opened up, and animals were getting down into the cracks. So I was digging, and I found one. I threw it down in the ditch with him. He just walked down the ditch to the other end of the side. Went with the guys rocking. He says, "Nope, I'm not coming back over there. You're an ass." Just, good times. That's one of the things that we do is we love screwing with each other. So, uh, Tran, if when you get into a construction job, for you, any of the young guys that might be watching, if you get into construction and guys are making fun of you and things like that, and not necessarily in a real mean way, depending on how your feelings get hurt, um, having people make fun of you is normal. It's how we survive. It's how we do our project, how we do our jobs. Um, it's how we get through the day and still have a little taste of sanity left. Is we make fun of each other. We jab each other. We talk a lot of crap to each other. Um, it's all in good fun. And for the young guys, if a crew stops making fun of you and stops talking to you, you're in trouble because you have done something or said something or become a negative, um, protected person, and no one wants to be around you or work with you anymore. That job site might be the last one you see for that company. They'll keep you around because they have to, because if you're in the union, they have to keep you until the job's over. If you're non-union, they might just come out one day and hand you 2 checks to send you off because you don't mesh with the crew well. Yeah, you too, Jesse. Thanks for stopping by, sending those pics. I tried to get those pics from the safety guy, but thanks for sending those. That's real cool stuff. Good Lord, I've been at this for 2 hours. All right, well, I guess we can wrap this up because I've been at this way too long. I usually try to keep them about an hour, hour and a half. So maybe I'll take some time today and actually edit my videos that I've got sitting around. Um, since not a whole lot of people came in for the live video, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut her off. So thank you guys for hanging out as long as you did. I can't believe some of you guys hung out this long. So thanks for that. Don't forget, hit the like button if you can, guys. That helps out my channel a lot. I don't get paid a lot for this. This is all for fun for me, and to help young guys and Windsor and you guys. It's all for you guys. It's not necessarily for me. I mean, I could be doing something else. I could be in my garage playing with my car, reloading ammo, or doing something like that. So thank you guys for hanging out. As always, keep your butt level and your ditch straight. If you can figure that out, you're doing really good. All right, you got to figure out how to turn this thing off again. There it is. Okay.